Give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High. Y'all can say hey.
No, I don't.
They already seen you.
Well, whatever. I don't say it.
You have to run away. All right, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High. Y'all in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Give thanks and praise for us allowing to see Purim again. 12 months go by pretty quick, don't it? Go sit down, my platter. John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Let's go over to 1 Peter chapter 3 before we delve into where we're going. I remember I asked a few people who were outside the word of this before. How many of you women in here feel like you got a quiet and humble spirit? You do?
Humble now.
Humble now?
Now, yeah.
Yeah, we talking about now. I ain't talking about 10 years ago.
Now, yeah.
How many of y'all feel like y'all exude femininity on a consistent basis? So Callie the only feminine woman in the room. She the only one raise her hand. No, I just said on a consistent basis, not all the time. On a consistent basis. Let me ask y'all this here. Ask the women this here. How many in the times that you felt like you was in a masculine and frame, how did you feel about yourself? When you were sitting in the masculine frame? When you were knowing that you were acting masculine, like you were carrying yourself like a man. Yeah, that's for the women. Definitely ain't for the men. How you felt about yourself? Either in the moment or after the fact, or did you even realize you were acting masculine?
At the time, no, I probably, I like in certain situations, I feel like I know I was, because I remember one time, never mind, but yeah.
You don't have to be scared to share.
I wasn't necessarily
share. Go ahead.
Okay, what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying, I remember one time in high school, this is the one I can recall and actually know, like.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
I kind of took it too far. I was telling the dude, I was like, you want me to be your boyfriend, you be my girlfriend, because, you know, you ain't doing right. Like, I need to, I thought I was basically like telling her I could do your job.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
What you confident?
But I was in high school.
So yeah, I can see what that's usually.
I would have made himself a play. But then again, we were in high school.
What about you, Shayla? You remember yourself being masculine?
No.
What about you, Kalisha? You were just masculine last week, wasn't you?
I was playing. I didn't realize I was so masculine until I about it. But I can do better.
What about you, Mom? What about you, Mom? Huh? I don't know if I could throw that in the masculine area because that's self-preservation. That's a little different. Yeah, that's a little different. I don't know if I can slide that into masculine. What about you, Mom? What about you? Well, how you felt about yourself? Did you realize it?
I felt like I had a lot of power.
And what did that power do for you?
Got things done.
But I'm talking about, but see, the reason why I'm looking at it, you got the things done, but at the sacrifice of what? You see what I'm saying? Like, you got it done, but what did it cost you in order to get it done? You went horse, but the reason why I mentioned that, you went horse, but in the end though, like, because if a nigga do it and it goes until clearly, if you were acting masculine and it got the nigga to do what you wanted him to do, he was feminine. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no masculine man even finna go for none of that. Because he gonna look at you like you stupid and then tell you to go about your business. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up losing your femininity, which would then cause you to lose an opportunity to be with a masculine man because a nigga not gonna fool with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't gonna do nothing but strengthen you to continue to behave that way. The same way if a woman is enabling a nigga to be feminine, then you run across him and you want him to be masculine, guess what he not gonna do? Be masculine. You know what I'm saying? So you got what you wanted, but at what cost? You see what I'm saying? Just because you get what you want, is it worth the cost to get it? Yeah, absolutely. Shoot, you might as well climb on top of him. Whoa, I ain't talking about that type of climb on top. Nah, I'm talking about, because you got to realize something, right? And I ain't said, no, listen to me, I ain't said this in a while, right? But dead serious, this is not being funny. Like, there's a reason why the woman has to receive, because sex is an act of submission. For you to allow a man in your body, you have to submit. You know what I'm saying? So there's a reason why the woman's supposed to be feminine, because she's supposed to submit. That's why when dudes participate in actions against nature, they begin to act feminine, because you have submitted. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to that's not supposed to happen. The man's not supposed to submit in that fashion. You know what I'm saying? So the minute you become masculine, that man has submitted, you might as well be penetrating him at this point, because he is a full-fledged woman. Huh? It's a lot of dudes on that. It's a lot of dudes on that. What about you, little muffin? Did you ever feel like have you ever been acting in the masculine fashion? No, not ever? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. Huh? It's really not? I can't hear, please. I can't hear. I can't hear. Say that again. That is true. You are not. You haven't been since a child. That's a true statement. That's a true statement. That's probably a good thing. You might be the only one in the bloodline who ain't assertive by nature. Let's see this 1 Peter chapter 3, right? Hey, children, Leah, you need to go sit down because you don't have any business in here. You don't have anything that pertains to you here. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Hey, children, y'all need to calm down. Calm down. Calm down. The reason why we've been looking at this here, right? It's power and femininity. You don't never want to sacrifice your femininity to get a man to do what you want to do, because truth be told, y'all know it just like I know it. If you lose respect for a man, you know the attraction is all the way out the window. It's gone. It's out the window. And then you can't I ain't never met nobody who re-respected anyone in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it is impossible, but I've never seen it done. Have any of y'all ever re-respected someone you lost respect for?
Your soldier boy,
I'm talking.
keep it real.
I ain't got nothing to do with forgiveness, because you can not.
I think I made some forgiveness.
Nah, it is a period of time.
No, see, you don't understand. Listen, right? No, that's not called forgiveness.
Don't disrespect nobody.
No, see, that's not. See that. See, not you. No, you foolish because you're not paying attention to what's being said. Listen to what's being said. Just because you don't respect someone does not mean you're going to disrespect them. See, an immature feminine man would feel the need to disrespect someone he doesn't respect. It's a lot of people I don't respect. That doesn't mean I'm going to disrespect them. You're owed respect as forth as my conduct because we're adults. But I don't respect you. And there's a reason why I don't respect you. And I will. It's been on this earth that I know I will never respect again. Ever. Once you show yourself to be a feminine individual, I will not respect you. I can't respect you. You're not a man. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna walk up to you and slap you in your face and spit on you and be like, nigga, what you gonna do? That's retarded. You know what I'm saying? But I have never met anyone in my life who say, boy, I lost respect for that nigga and re-respected them. You know what I'm saying? It's people on, I know it's people on y'all jobs right now y'all don't respect. You tolerate them. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do with somebody you don't respect. You tolerate them. Because if you had your choice, you'd have no dealings with them whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never met a woman with a man who she didn't respect when she wasn't trying to find an exit strategy to leave that nigga alone. Do you know what I'm saying? And she... Oh, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that because they're getting the benefit. They're getting something out of it. But eventually they get tired of it and they want to slide. Don't no woman want to be with a man she can't respect. People can change, but I don't mean I'm going to respect you.
If a person changes,
that doesn't mean you can change, but that doesn't mean once this ain't got nothing to do with living right. This ain't got nothing to do with living right. I don't respect you. I don't respect you.
Well, I'm saying the person do change.
Change it. Change. It's not about the changing. Once the respect is gone, I don't care if you change or not. I don't want nothing to do with you. You stay over there.
Yeah. So I'm thinking in my head, I get the concept of what you're saying. Because if you feel like a dude is a F-boy,
You not going.
gain respect once you come back and like, you know what? I want you, Trey. I'm like, glad. I'm glad you know.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not gonna be like, well, let's keep it together. So be like, nah, nigga.
You good? I'm good. You good?
Yeah. Even with a girl.
All you're gonna do is look at, I'm glad you improved yourself. I'm glad you've seen the error of your way. I still don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? Because that person who you're saying, I don't know that person and I don't care to know that person based off this unrespectable person that I knew before. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you. I'm glad you've elevated in life. Get your cornball behind away from me though. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? While you talking about this here, the book tell you can forgive a nigga and cut a nigga off and don't be fooled up with him, right? We went over that, right?
I think it depends on the position though.
It could depend, but if I don't respect you.
I feel like you might could respect that.
For a parent.
You're like a parent, like your parent or like your child or like
Yeah.
like so if it was like a parent-child relationship.
I can see that.
I can see that. I feel like if it was like a spouse husband type thing, like especially if y'all have a child together.
That one there, I don't know. Because
I'm saying it's not possible.
I don't know.
I can see it.
I mean, I can see it in all situations. Like I said, I'm not saying it's impossible. I've never seen it.
Well, the Lord can respect all of us when we was living in the world, but now that we're not living in the world, we gain the Lord.
It's not the same thing, bro.
If you lose respect for a dude,
Bro, that's not the same. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing.
That's what I'm looking at it from that. How is it not the same thing?
Because it's not because when you look at the term as forth as respect, it's not respect in the English definition as it is in Hebrew. When he has, I'm just being honest with you, because we looked at this in the Exodus 2, when he said he had respect unto their prayer. Those people were sinners when they were praying unto him then. But that word respect is not respect in the regard that we look at respect. He is. He don't like you, he don't care for you. But see, he's merciful and he'll forgive you. But we're looking at, because I forgive you don't mean I'm going to respect you or have dealings with you. See, there's a difference. See, if you're a man of no respect, then I don't want nothing to do with you. You can change, but that don't mean that I'm going to fool with you in that capacity. That doesn't mean I have. See, you're taking that and thinking that niggas walking around with something in their heart against another person. I just don't fool with you. You understand what I'm saying? And then I'm telling you as a man, your woman can't love you if she doesn't respect you. And if she doesn't respect you, she's not going to submit to you. And no man wants to be with a woman he can't respect. How many of you brothers in here want to be with a woman you can't respect? Like, how many of y'all really would want to marry a woman you can't respect? Most of y'all in here married. Didn't you marry a woman you respected? If you didn't respect her, would you would have married her? No. Why? Because you ain't going to be with somebody you don't respect. Period. Most of y'all work on jobs with people under people who you don't respect. You tolerate them because you got to pay your bills. If you had a choice, you wouldn't deal with them. What you say? That's all I'm saying. But come on, man.
Yeah, because I stayed into
That's 1 Peter 3:1 though. Let's see, you getting the difference because you jamming everything into one book. Everything ain't no one book. I'm telling you, it's niggas on this earth I do not respect. Straight up. Period. There's people walking this earth who I do not respect as men. And a few women. You know what I'm saying? If I seen them and they said they was hungry, I would feed them. Not just cause the word, because that's just what type of time I'm on. But I don't fool with you. I don't respect you. I can't have no inner dealings and close dealings with someone I don't respect. Because the minute you do that, guess what's gonna happen when you go to fooling with a nigga you don't respect? Guess what they gonna do? Show you why you didn't respect him in the first place. Now you done got bit again. Now you're standing here looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? You know you ain't had no business fooling with him because you knew he was a sucker when he came around here. He's already established that. You know what I'm talking about? And you're going to be like this here, I think he's changed. I'm going to change my direction and walk the other way. Because I'm okay. I'm all right. You can play with me like that. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if they any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conduct of the wives. While they behold your chaste behavior, coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting a hair and the wearing of gold and putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet ruach, which is in sight of Elohim of great price. Now, we talked about certain attributes of femininity. Can anybody remember those attributes or attributes that they would ascribe to femininity? Anyone, male or female, it don't make no difference. I'm asking this for a reason, because I'm finna go somewhere with it.
I got ideas, but I'd rather hold it.
No, don't hold it. Let it go. Be free with it.
No, because you said acting tough to
Bro, we done moved on. We done moved on. We on something else.
humble and contract.
We done moved on. We can't backtrack. We ain't got all night. Submissive. What else is an attribute of femininity?
Humility.
Hard working, lazy, industrious, if you will. Industrious. Strong? Huh? If a woman argumentative, she masculine. Wise? I will accept it. Virtuous? I will accept it. Skillful? That go along with industrious, but we'll take it. It's a synonym. Anybody else? Now, when we looked at, remember we looked at that as someone who's gentle. If you're empathetic, what does that mean you are? If you're an empathetic person, what does that mean you are? I will accept it. Then you got sensitive, caring, compassionate, tolerant, a nurturer, defers, or a servant, if you will, and an aid, a help, and a relief. Now let me ask y'all a question. The fruits of the Ruach. Do y'all know any of the fruits of the Ruach off the top of y'all head? Now let me ask you this question here. Would you think that some of the fruits of the Spirit in a certain aspect could be related to femininity as well as masculinity?
Yup.
Why you think that? Because you said that kind of aggressive.
Yup, because the word ruach itself is...
See, I knew you were going to do that. See, masculine and feminine in Hebrew actually don't really mean anything too tough like dudes say that, but I knew that's why you said
I'm saying now because I used to...
I know you did. You thought the Holy Spirit was a woman. I know that. They taught you that. I know that. I'm aware. No, niggas really teach that. Niggas really teach that. They teach that the Ruach is a woman. Yeah, they teach a lot of things. But now we're going to look at and see how some of those fruits are in the aspect of femininity of a woman possessing the Ruach of Elohim. So let's take ourselves to Esther. What may I do for you? What may I do for you? What may I do for you? Esther chapter 2, I believe. Yeah, Esther chapter 2. Who remembers what happened with King Xerxes' wife? Does anybody remember what her name was? Vashti. Nasty Vashti. Nasty Vashti. What did Nasty Vashti do?
when the king called.
She didn't come when the king called. And what was the issue they had that was going to go in down in their province because she didn't come when the king called? And what was their issue or what they felt like would happen?
The mother wives weren't gonna do it.
She'll make everybody else do it. Now everybody around here masculine.
Yay.
So now we're going to look at Esther getting chosen to be queen, or Malachi, if you will, because she ain't no whore, or a banshee, or things of that nature. Banshee. Esther 2:1. And these things, when the wrath of King Xerxes was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servant that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king. And let the king appoint officers in the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins under Shushan, the palace to the house of women, unto the custody of Hedge, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let things for purification be given them. And let the maiden which pleased the king be Malachi instead of Vashti, and the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now in Shushan the palace was a certain Yahudim whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shemal, the son of Kish, a Benjamite. How many of y'all even knew that Mordecai and Esther were Benjamites in the first place?
I didn't know him and Esther was.
Esther is his niece.
Okay, so I didn't.
Yeah, Esther is his niece. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. So it came to pass, when the king's commandment, his decree was heard, many of the maidens were gathered together under Shushan the palace to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house to the custody of Haggai, the keeper of the women. Now, we're not going to go through all that because she had to go through her purification process. And then she got chosen. Let's look at verse 11. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what would become of her. Now when every maid's turn was come to go into King Xerxes after she had been 12 months, according to the manner of women, for so were the days of the purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil and myrrh, 6 months with sweet odors and other things for the purifying of women. Then thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned to the second house of women to the custody of Shagaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she was called by name. So pause. It says that this woman was called by name, and the king delighted in her. Where can we go at in the Gospels and see something of that same nature, where a woman was called by name, and that the king delighted in her?
When he called upon Mary Magdalene like this, he delighted in her when she washed his feet.
He didn't call Mary Magdalene by name.
Mary though?
Indeed. Luke chapter 1. Yeah, he didn't call Mary, and that wasn't Mary Magdalene that washed his feet. That was Mary's Lazarus sister. Mary Magdalene was a woman who had seven evil spirits cast out of her. Two totally different people, and she was not a prostitute. A lot of people say Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Mary Magdalene was not a whore. Lazarus' sister was a whore, but Mary Magdalene was not a whore. Yeah, she would go into the garden looking for him. That's because that's the people who they say, what's the name of that movie in the book? No, the Da Vinci Code. They were saying that Mary Magdalene was a whore, and that's who Yahushua was knocking down with Mary Magdalene. They had a baby together. And that the Holy Grail was really his bloodline and all that good old stuff. And that's where they get the 13 families and the Nephilim, all that stupid stuff nigga be getting from nigga pull that junk out their butthole. Yeah, a lot of stuff, conspiracy theories you probably done seen, they come from the Da Vinci Code. But I mean, but it actually comes from a book called, because they sued the dude who wrote Da Vinci Code, because I read the book in prison. It's called Holy Blood, Holy Grail, or something of that nature. And it was talking about that he had a child with Mary Magdalene, and that was what the Holy Grail really was, as they were protecting that bloodline, and that bloodline is a part of the 12 most wealthiest, powerful families in the world. Huh? Yeah, the dudes who wrote, whatever it is, I forget the first part, Holy Grail, they sued him because they took elements of their book, and he put it in their book and put it in the movie, and they sued them, and they won. You know what I'm saying? But basically, they saying that Yahusha has a bloodline to this day, and it's Caucasian. Ronald Reagan actually said, you know, the dead president who was a rat bastard that sold crack. Yeah, he actually said he was from the tribe of Dan. Said he was from the tribe of Dan. It's a true story. You'll be surprised. These people bugged out here. Luke, I have no idea. I cannot confirm nor deny. And I didn't get Psalms 48 for him today, but I get it for you right now. I certainly forgot. My apologies, Akish. My apologies. I don't care as long as I'm a walk through this gate looking brother. That's all I care about. I wouldn't give I could give 2 Londons what tribe I was part of. Luke 1 and 26. And in the 6th month, the Malachim Gabriel was sent from Elohim unto the city of Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And the Malachim came unto her and said, Hail, thou art highly... Now, if it said hail, what does that mean when somebody says hail? You know what I'm saying? It's acknowledgement to give reverence. He said, Thou art highly favored. Yahuwah is with you. Baruch art thou among women. So if Yahuwah is with him and is with her and she's blessed amongst women, that would mean that he delighted in her. Now we're gonna sit back and see. He called her by name, because we could read another place. He called her Mary. Mary. You know what I'm saying? By name. And when she saw him, she was troubled at the saying and cast in her mind what matter of salutation this should be. And I can't blame her. You think if somebody popped up on you and said, Hail, you're highly favored. Blessed are you. Yahuwah is with you. Like, most people are like, oh, I'll just be so happy. No, you ain't going to be like, what is this nigga talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about. You're just going to be wondering, because how many people get greeted in this fashion? The Malachim said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with Elohim. If she found favor with Elohim, y'all should know what that is. What does that mean? That means she's found grace in his eyesight. It wasn't nothing she did. He done bestowed favor on her. He chose. I'm going to ask y'all this question and see if y'all remember. Why does Mary have to be a virgin to bring forth Yahusha according to the law? Why does she have to be a virgin?
Because the earth was a virgin and the man did.
Let him know, brother.
Yeah, but that's not what we look for. That's the correct answer, but that's not. No, I just said, no, I said that's the correct answer, but that's not what we're looking for. That is a correct answer.
He said Genesis.
He talking about in the beginning, but that's not what we're looking for.
That is the right answer.
It is a correct answer, but that's not one of the reasons why. I'm talking about why she had to be a virgin, why a penis could not have entered her body and released bodily.
Because he couldn't. Because when you look at it, he couldn't have a fleshly because Joseph came from Joachim, and the Lord told. That's not that we didn't already went through that, and that's an incorrect teaching.
No, because if she was to have laid with him,
she'd have been unclean. If he would have laid with her and released seminal fluid in her, according to Leviticus 15, her womb would have been unclean. You know what I'm saying? The Most High cannot dwell in what? Unclean places. He put the literal ruach in her womb. Can't be defiled. Because once, and it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if it's just seminal. Like if you got a wound and pus comes out, you're unclean. You know what I'm saying? The releasing of bodily fluid with the exception of saliva makes you unclean. So when you look at her womb, this is what dudes don't actually know the law. Because if he would have laid with her and released his bodily fluid in her womb is defiled. Because what do you have to do according to the law after you have sex? You have to bathe. So if she has to bathe, guess what happens? She's unclean, and y'all got to slide to the next woman. I can't do it. Nah, she didn't have one of those. She's grown. Yeah, but she ain't having no childbirth without shedding that uterine lining. Indeed, come on. Go ahead. No, what it is that you're unclean until the sun go down. So let's say if you had relations with your spouse at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun go down at 7. If you hadn't bathed by the time that sun went down, then you unclean to the next day.
But what if it's at night?
If it's at night, then you would have to bathe before the sun went down the next day.
Right, you get mud at night, you clean to the next day anyway. No, bathe for no bathe.
You still unclean.
No.
No, he's saying, we're saying if you had relations right now, you unclean. Now you can bathe, you still unclean. You not clean until the sun go down the next day.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, they didn't receive it that
You
way.
get mud at night, you dirty to the next day.
Well, yeah, they didn't receive it that way. I guess it didn't sound like that when they heard it.
So you said something about you need to change that.
Come on.
Yeah, that day we,
I want y'all to look at verse 39 of Luke chapter 1. Actually, verse 46. I want y'all to see the Song of Mary. Who familiar with the Song of Mary? No. Actually, that is about the Lord, and it's disrespectful. But that's about her, though, and him. If I'm not mistaken, 99.9% of nursery rhymes pertain to the word. We definitely looked up the scene a while back. Y'all remember that, the hokey pokey about the word. And that's very disrespectful if you actually look at it where it comes from. You don't want to know. No, I'm just mentioning that now.
no, not every year, like every 3 months.
I haven't mentioned that in a while. I ain't said nothing about no nursery rhymes in a period.
I said every 3 months.
What about
Oh yeah, if the kids do it, I got to remind you. Stop them. Cause shoot, them niggas were definitely singing Jingle Bells earlier today. That's unacceptable.
yeah, Mary had a little.
But you'll be, I never thought about it when I was a kid. I could care less. I didn't sing it, didn't care. My boy ain't right. Come on, y'all, where we got the focus so we can get done. Luke 1 and 46. It said, and Mary said, my soul doth magnify Yahuwah, and my ruach have rejoiced in Elohim my Savior. For he regarded the low estate of his handmaiden. For behold, from henceforth all generations shall call me blessed. For he that is mighty have done to me great things, and Kadash is his name. And his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation. He shows strength with his arm. He scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. He have put down the mighty from their seats and exalted them of low degree. He have filled the hungry with good things, and the rich have he sent away empty. He have hope in his servant Yasharal in the remembrance of his mercy, as he spake to our fathers and to Abraham and to his seed forever, and Mary abode with her about 3 months and returned to her own house. If you turn around and look at this towards the end, if you know when you see a song in the text, what is the song actually really is? It's a prophecy. So that means what would that make Mary? That would make her a prophetess based off what she just did right here. Because she just prophesied. All you got to do is check. If you didn't know she prophesied, all you got to do is check verse 51. She starts speaking about the son she finna birth. Because she just said that he scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. Why is that important? Because let's go back to Esther chapter 3 and see how he scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. Esther chapter 3. Verse 1. After these things did King Xerxes promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. All the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Why didn't Mordecai bow down and give him no reverence? Why he ain't do it? Why y'all think he didn't do that? He didn't respect it. He didn't respect it. Now we got to ask ourselves, why wouldn't he respect him? See, that goes into what we were talking about before. He didn't disrespect him, though this man felt disrespected because he didn't bow to him or give him honor. But shoot, he said, I don't respect you, nigga, so what I'm going to do it for? I don't respect you. Listen what he said. And it made him mad, too. He said, the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, why transgress the king's commandment? Now it came to pass when they spake daily unto him, he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai matters would stand, for he had told them that he was a Yahudim. Now, you know, if he tell him he a Yahudim, you know that means something, right? That means he know that this is someone who's captive and is a stranger. He ain't a part of this group of people. When Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not nor did in reverence, then Haman was full of wrath, and he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Yahudim that were throughout the whole kingdom of Xerxes, even the people of Mordecai. Now, just because Mordecai, who you think? You think Mordecai didn't bow down of his own, or you think Yahuwah put that in his mind not to bow down? It's quite possible. It's quite possible Yahuwah did that just to take these people down. Now, Xerxes, Haman's upset. Now he want to kill all the Yahudim. Ain't that some imagination of his heart? Now remember, what is the Hebrew word for imagination and what does it mean? Do y'all remember that when we dealt with the thoughts of sin, the thoughts of foolishness and sin? You remember what that means? The imagination of the thoughts? Your plots, your plans, and your devices. It's not thoughts in the sense of what we think thoughts is. Huh, son, you over there scrolling? That's more important over there? What you got going on? Yeah, I had to get you one time. So now we're looking at what is the imagination of Haman's thoughts. What is his plan to do? To exterminate all the Yahudim in the province of King Xerxes. Now listen to what he say after that. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Xerxes, they cast Pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month until the 12th month, that is the month Adar. Haman said unto King Xerxes, there's a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of the kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king to profit to suffer them. Now let's take it into another account. It just said that we don't keep the king's law. It said that we didn't keep the king's laws, right? That's what it said, right? So now, according to Torah, why didn't Mordecai bow down and reverence this man?
Why didn't?
Why would he? Like, just like Daniel, why would he bow down to another person?
True, I'm looking for a precept. It's a precept for it, and you're correct. What you're saying is actually what the precept that I'm looking for going to say, to a certain extent. Maybe not word for word, we're pretty much going to say that.
I was thinking about the wicked and abomination of right.
That's in Proverbs, and I'll take it.
Well, what about the scripture in Genesis when he said, my spirit should not always dwell with man, for the imagination of his heart is evil continually?
That's different, because that's before he flooded the earth.
He say, don't put person that not over your...
There it is.
What did he say?
Deuteronomy 17, when he told us about setting a king, do not set a king above you that's not of your people. Now, of course, he didn't set Haman above him, but I'm not referencing you because you're a stranger. The reason why I focus on that, because he said they didn't keep the king's laws. That was the king's commandment. Remember what they asked him, why you transgressed the king's commandment? Because, nigga, I don't follow that. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow that. See, that's what I was telling you before, right? Like, in America, are they forcing you to support a homosexual getting married? Do you have to participate in that? Not at all. But if they force you to try to do something against y'all's word, guess what you supposed to do? I don't vibe like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to do with no homosexual marriage. Ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? What y'all got going on is what y'all got going on. But when it come down to y'all's laws, I'm not transgressing that. Period. You can never compromise your convictions under any circumstance. It's no different than anything in life. People can only do what you allow them to do. And I'm telling you this here, and I told you this here before, right? If you compromise what you stand for anyone or anything, then they know at that moment that they become your God. They know at that moment you serve them. Because I got you to go against your values and your standard and your conduct for me. Don't tell me about Yahuwah no more. You don't serve no Yahuwah. You serve me. How do I know? Because you bend it to my will. You said my will was more important than your God's will. Right or wrong? Never compromise your convictions for no one. No one y'all would never bring no one nowhere near to you in any capacity that would even dare ask you to do that if they come from him. You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare. It's no different that y'all ain't finna send nobody to you to say anything different to you other than what his words say. You know what I'm saying? That's why Peter was shocked when he seen them unclean beasts. Like, hold up. I ain't never did nothing like that. We don't do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he already know this can't come from me. I don't understand this. I don't know what he trying to tell me, but I ain't finna eat no pork, though. Looks like Ezekiel say, hold up, I ain't never ate nothing unclean. You asking me to eat doo-doo. We don't do that. Same way them three little boys were like, who, what? Bow down to who, where, when, how? We're careful to answer you in this matter. You know what I'm saying? We're careful to answer you. But one thing I ain't going to do is I ain't bowing down to that idol. You know what I'm saying? So you can't give people that much power over you to dictate your behavior because you scared of losing them. Well, shoot, nigga, be lost. Shoot, somebody will find you. Shoot, but they ain't gonna find me with you. Shoot, boy, ain't nobody worth going to hell for. You can look all around this room. Ain't that nigga in this room worth going to hell for. Not damn one of them. Because like we were talking about today, he got gray hairs and he didn't know it. When you got to stand up and be in that line and you like this here, that nigga you went to hell for gonna be somewhere up behind you. You gonna have to stand in front of that man by yourself. And then you gonna have to give account. But I loved him. I bet you did. You should have loved me. You don't want to hear that. But that was my mama. That was my daddy. That was my... You should have loved me. That man don't want to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? Where was your love to him? This man told you clearly in our law. He said what? Don't have what before him?
No other God.
No other God. So guess what? Don't put nobody before that man. Don't nobody come before him. See, they teach you that. That's a bad thing. They teach us to put people before. Family first. No, y'all first. Y'all come first. But see, that's a guilt trip. That's a manipulation trick for people to get you to bend to do what they want you to do. And that's what he was trying to do with Mordecai. Verse 9, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hand of those that have the charge of the business to bring. That man wanted to pay. That man say 10,000 pieces of silver, boy. That's a lot of bread, ain't it? Get somebody out of here. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Habadatha, the Agite, the Yahudim's enemy. We drop down to verse 12. We move around trying to be a little swift. Saying, and then there were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors that were of every province, to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, to every people after their language. And the name of King Xerxes was written and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Yahudim, both young, old, little children, women, and one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is in the month of Adar, and take the spoil of them for a prey. Now that's rough right there. They say they kill us all in one day. Now I done told y'all about this plenty of times. Just mentioned it last week. You know, they got a document. They say they can kill us all in America anyway in 8 hours. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether they can pull that off or not, I doubt seriously. You know what I'm saying? But it's just showing you how they set the same type of plan that Haman was setting to exterminate us. Only difference is they don't want to exterminate you because you keeping the law and because you serve Yah. They didn't want to kill you because you're black. Don't think that they got these plans because, oh, they're the Israelites, we got to kill them. That's retarded. They don't care. They just see you as a threat. You think, let me ask you a question, right? If you have been disrespecting somebody, beating on them and oppressing on them for a very long time, would you be fearful of vengeance returning to you from them people? Because I want y'all to understand something. You know, white people live in fear of you turning the tables on them every single day. They fear that this gonna be the day them niggas gonna snap. Because you know, y'all know full well, any of y'all ever had somebody mistreat you on a regular basis and then one day you just snapped and slapped the fire out of them or did something of a physical nature to let them know you were tired of it? Yep. Huh? You said yeah. Who else done slapped the fire out of somebody because they kept doing you? Huh? You done got violent before, Shayla? I couldn't see you getting violent. You done slapped somebody up? Huh?
I mean, you done heard him go off.
But I actually haven't. I was comatose.
You what? Well, that's what I heard.
Did I hear that? I don't know if I heard that.
I just stopped. And was like, hey,
Well, she wasn't aggressive though. I didn't think she was aggressive. Thought she was pretty tame in my opinion. Her word choices. Her word choices.
But at the same time, man, they blow up their own buildings and do all the stuff they do to their own people. What makes you think? I already know they're do that stuff.
Oh, no doubt. But I'm just saying, like, you can't mistreat somebody for an extended period of time. You know that one day they gonna snap. That's why they walk around and they be so nervous. I just seen a lady called the police on a dude because his dog humped her dog.
I heard about that.
You know what I'm saying? Or the fact that how they call the police on us all the time because they fearful that one day you gonna snap and want vengeance.
Well, they got nuclear weapons. They said if black people start snapping, they'll
Man, you really think them people gonna drop nuclear weapons on the whole country and kill everybody for some niggas?
That's right. They might, yeah.
Nah, they gonna start. They gonna
The rich and the elite, they'll get out.
But they're not gonna do all that. Them people gonna send through the tactical teams they need to send through and the drones and kill you niggas and go about their business before they drop a nuclear bomb and tear up their whole stuff and now they can't make no more money. They ain't gonna mess up their whole hustle for some niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know, because if you drop a bomb, if you say niggas is rioting all across the country, you're going to eliminate the whole country. Now you can't make no money because this place is a wasteland and you can't use it. Now you got to go somewhere else. I don't believe this. I don't believe they can go to space. So, yeah, they got a lot of things. That don't mean they really going nowhere.
Yeah, they ain't going to space.
Shoot, them niggas ain't been to space in a long time. Let them tell it.
They ain't never been to space. They ain't never been to space.
That's what some people believe happened to Challenger in '86. Some people believe y'all shot that shuttle down.
No, it hit the firmament and it flew up.
Okay, but then you would have to explain when you say that. Then why did the other ones get out if they got out? You would have to
They
explain.
didn't get out.
So where did they go?
They went at an angle.
An angle to where?
A rocket don't shoot.
Calm down, because we're not trying to go through all that with
A
you.
rocket don't shoot straight up in the air. A rocket shoot up.
Oh, because he believe the earth flat. He loved to argue it.
Oh no, I seen that. I agree with him.
Yeah, a rocket when it goes up.
Okay, but where did it go? But where did it go?
It goes up at an angle to a certain point, and then it just sit there, and it's in a no gravity airplane, and they pretend like they're in space. They're not.
So how there's no gravity airplane if they're in the earth and there's gravity?
Because there's no such thing as gravity. Period.
So then why would you say no gravity? That kind of contradicts your statement.
No.
I listen well, sir.
Okay. The reason why I say that is because they got it in the airplane where they can just float inside of the airplane.
Do you have evidence for that claim, or you tell? Listen to me. Do you have evidence for that claim, or you telling me what you heard in the YouTube video? Where did you get it from?
Okay, easy science because gravity don't exist.
Okay, but how could you? Listen. Pause. Calm. But can you prove? See, you telling us that, but could you prove it?
What you say? Can I prove what?
Could you prove it?
Can I prove what?
Could you prove your claims?
Proving it now.
No, you're not proving anything. You're telling me something.
I'm proving it now.
But you're not proving anything.
Because
You're
I'm giving
telling
you
me.
facts.
No, but you're not giving me anything. You're just talking.
Hold on. Density does
Listen,
not
hold on.
exist.
Listen what I'm telling you. I'm not saying you lying. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm saying, but you're not proving anything. You just told me something and you're expecting me to believe it because you told it to
I
me.
can prove it to you by the Bible. I can prove it to you scientifically. I
How
can
do you
prove
want
it
to
to
be?
you story.
You know what I'm saying? Well, see, hey, I done asked this nigga. Hey, I done told this nigga before. That nigga ain't proved nothing but doo-doo steak in the sky blue.
I am 100% a flat earther, so yeah.
We ain't talking about no flat earth, B. We ain't talking about no flat
But
earth.
they ain't been to space though, bro.
I don't know where they been. I don't know where they been.
No, they ain't going.
I don't know where. I don't know where they been. Listen, I don't know where they been. Me personally, I don't believe they've been anywhere. But I can't say definitively that they have or they haven't.
I can't say they haven't. I know for a fact they haven't.
You been at NASA to see?
They haven't.
Okay, people say a lot
He
of
said
things.
disguised as a molten glass in Job 9:27.
That's not what he
So when
said.
they go high up, they go, yes,
He didn't say no molten glass. He didn't say no molten glass.
Yes, he did.
Let's see if he said molten glass.
Look.
Let's see if it said molten glass.
Oh!
Let's see if it said. Fire burning. Let's see what it say. Let's see what it says. Let's see if it says molten glass.
Disguised as a molten glass.
It says in Job 9:27, if I say I will forget my complaint, I will leave off my heaviness and comfort myself.
No, hold on.
So maybe you spoke wrong on the verse. It's all good. But it definitely didn't say molten glass. I can tell you that.
Yeah, y'all finna see it now. Job 37:18, excuse me.
Read it, brother.
Let's see. You got it. I got you. I got you, man. I got you.
About 10 more minutes.
I got you because you can't. You know you can't read well. He said, "Has thou spread him out the sky, which is strong, and has molten looking glass?"
Yeah.
No, but I said the verse he was at, because I knew that wasn't Job 9:27. That's why I told him that. I knew it wasn't Job 9:27.
What did it say?
It say molten looking glass. But now we need to look. Pause. But now we need to look and see what those words are. I mean, for ourselves, because we don't care what it say in English. We need to see what it say in our
Yeah,
language.
them white folks ain't going.
Pull it. Who got their phone out to see what it say in our language?
Like the Lord to let them go.
What's
and
that?
explore.
No, I'm not saying he was wrong, but I be on his behind about that because that nigga just be talking. He don't bring no evidence.
They said Job 31.
37 and 18. Let's see what words we get for that. No, I didn't talk to that nigga about this. That nigga loved it. You see how happy he got?
Let them explore their heavens. His heavens. I'm
What you
sorry.
want to look at? Glass or molten?
We can look up all of it.
I don't see it.
Glass is a mirror.
Yeah.
It's just a
That's all it
molten
says
glass.
mirror.
The word for glass is mirror.
Yeah.
What's the word for molten?
To pour, flow, cast, pour out.
So he's going to pour out a mirror. So that's what it would say. So it would say that he would pour out a mirror. That's what it actually says. So it's not actually saying that the sky looked like molten glass. It just says that he poured out a mirror.
Now look up the Hebrew word for
No, I mean saying in that verse, but we just pragmatic because we're not dealing with that. We're not dealing with it. But I'm just saying that, not again, you got to remember, like they said, you can say I got all these facts, but you got to be able to prove it because all you telling us is what you saying. And I've been telling you that for years. Nigga don't care nothing about what you saying. Not if you can't prove it. You done pulled a lot of verses trying to prove stuff that ain't had nothing to do with what you were talking about. On numerous occasions. No, I'm just saying to the point, because I'm not saying he wrong. He just be thinking the nigga telling him he wrong. Come on back to where we was at, man. We gonna pull over here in chapter 4. Let's look and see how Esther was moving around. I want you to come over here in Esther 4 and pick it up at verse 6. So Hattach went forth to Mordecai into the street of the city, which was toward the king's gate. Hello, Abigail. And Mordecai told him all that happened unto him and the sum of money that Haman promised to pay to the king's treasury for the Yahudim to destroy them. And he gave a copy of the writing of the decree that was given to Shushan to destroy them, and shew it unto Esther, and declared unto her and to charge her that she should go unto the king and make supplication unto him to make a request before him and for her people. So when we see this here, right, if he gave her a charge to do something, what type of woman would Esther be if she did that? Would she be a servant? Would she be deferential? Or would she be submissive? You say servant? No, Esther was told by Mordecai to go tell the king, to make supplication to the king, and to make a request for the people. So if she goes to do this, is she a woman who defers? Is she a humble woman? Is she a servant? Or is she submissive? Or all of the above?
Servant, I would say servant.
So let's look at this here, right? So Hattach came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. Again, Esther spake unto Hattach and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people of the king's province do know that whatsoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king in the inner court who is not called there's one Torah of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days. Now let's see how that pertains to the gospel. She said there's a rule, there's a law that says you can't come in the inner court. What does our law say about coming in the inner court? What would happen to you if you went into the Kadash of the Kadash? You would die, same token. But now, according to the gospel, can you come into the Kadash of Kadash? Can you go in there? You see, can you go in? Who says by show of hands you can go in the New Testament or the New Covenant? And who thinks that you wouldn't be able to go in? What you say? What you think? You think you can go in the Kadash of the Kadash now? Into the inner court? Let's see if you can go in. He rent the veil, right?
I mean, it's over.
It's over. Hebrew 10. It ain't wide open.
Narrow gate, bro.
Narrow gate. Narrow gate. He got to take you through the straits. Straits. Put that pressure on you. Hebrews 10, about verse 13. He say, from henceforth expecting his enemies to be his footstool, for by one offering have he perfected forever them that are sanctified. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Verse 19 is what I wanted. He's saying, having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the Kadash by the blood of Yahushua, by a new and living way, which he have consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh. Having a high priest over the house of Elohim, let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Now, let me ask you a question, right? She said you couldn't come in except the king reached out the golden scepter. So when you're looking at this here to be able to come in, you would have to be called. This is what I was talking about last night. Like, you got to make sure your election's sure. Like, this man called you. Every last one of you were going in a direction that you had no idea where your life was going to take you, and this man called you to salvation. And you know where he was calling you to come to? Into that inner sanctum. Because he wanted you. It tells you in Hebrews chapter 4 that we ought to go to the throne of grace in the time of need that we might obtain help. Where is the throne of grace? That's on the Ark of the Covenant. That's in the Kadash of the Kadash. He telling you, you ain't got to worry about coming in here and you dying. I'm telling you to come to me. You know what I'm saying? That's why he said you won't come to me that you might receive life. You can't be fearful of coming to your God. He desires that. That's what he wants. Come on back to Esther chapter 4. Look what Mordecai tell her to do, and you can see the level of femininity that this woman operates in. And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with yourself that you shall escape in the king's house more than all the Yahudim. For if you altogether hold thy shalom at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Yahudim from another place. Now look what he told her. If he told her she wouldn't do it, guess what he said? Y'all save us from another direction. You ain't got to do it. Either way it goes, it's going down. But you in your father's house shall be destroyed. And who know whether you are come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Yahudim that are present in Shushan and fast you for me. Neither eat nor drink 3 days or night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. And so will I go unto the king, which is not according to Torah. And if I perish, I perish. Now let's look at this right here and let's see in Proverbs 31 what type of woman this is. You see how strong that is? Now one, Mordecai told her what? How you would even know if you was brought in for a time such as this. Maybe y'all put you in this position for this time right here, right now. Because you know a lot of Hebrew dudes will tell you quick, y'all ain't got no purpose for no women, right? I done heard dudes say women can't get in the kingdom. I done heard dudes say a woman can't get in the kingdom unless she got a husband. That's got to be one of the lamest things to get a woman to marry you I ever heard. Dudes say it though. You know you ain't got no covering. You ain't going to get in the kingdom without me. Let me be your covering. Cover me from what? Sound like all you trying to do is cover my body. That's all it sound like what you're trying to do. Whatever. is a wild individual, untamed, if you will. Proverbs 31 and 25.
That's a whole song.
Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in the time to come. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the Torah of kindness. Can we see wisdom in Esther's words? Well, let's come over here and let's look at these fruits of this Ruach in Ephesians chapter 5. Let me ask you a question. Can we look and see how the works of the flesh would definitely be an operation of a masculine woman? What are you looking for, Elizabeth? What do you want? Those aren't yours. You can't have those. Those belong to someone else. That's Galatians 5, excuse me, not Ephesians 5. 5 and 22. Galatians 5 and 22. Go sit down. But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, shalom, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no Torah. Now we see, what did she, and remember we still talking about the imagination of the hearts that Mary was talking about. Can we say if she say, if I perish, that's an exemplary of faith? You know what I'm saying? This also shows you what type of woman, because a real feminine woman in the word is going to be a woman of faith. Every woman in this word that was a feminine, remember we didn't read it in 1 Peter chapter 3. Remember how I stated that he said, and this is how the old time the women did? How Sarah, and this, that, and the third. When you look at Rachel, would you say that's a woman of faith? Absolutely. What made her a woman of faith was she snatched her daddy's idols and sat on over the top of them with no fear. Could we say that? Sarah was a woman of faith. What about Rebecca? What about Deborah? What about Elizabeth? Y'all know who Elizabeth is, right? You know who Elizabeth is? Elizabeth is Mary. Who is Elizabeth, Kat? That is Mary's cousin. Who was, and she was the mother of who? John the Baptist. And what did it describe? The book described Elizabeth and her husband as two things. Perfect and blameless people. You know what I'm saying? We see that Mary is what? A feminine woman, a faithful woman. Who else am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Abigail. These are feminine women. And these women all share one attribute in this regard. Now let me ask y'all another question. According to the law, we read it today. It said when Elohim created man, he made him what? No, I'm talking about, we read it today in Genesis 1. We read it today. That male and female created he them. So we talked about this a little bit last week too. Let's sit back and look at a Mashiach when he's about to die, right? What process of that experience would he be in? Would he be in the male or would he be in the female? He would be in the female. So if he be in the female, pause. Let's come over here to Genesis chapter 3 and let's see something. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. He says, and unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. And in sorrow you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. Who can tell me how that first part of that verse relates to a Mashiach? That during childbirth and conception, you will have great sorrow. But I'm talking about not just the side. It said, sit back and think of it. Because he was already dead when they stabbed him in the side. He was already dead. Remember it says that the woman, he will multiply her sorrow and conception and childbirth. And based off of that statement, who can pinpoint when he began to go through childbirth? Because all you women in here for the most part done had a child. And what's the first thing to let you know the baby's on the way?
He cried out.
You where? After his baptism, you say he cried. He didn't cry out blood. It said his sweat looked like blood. He didn't cry out no blood.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, we
What did it say about him when he was beginning to pray when he was in the garden?
His sweat was like blood.
He said he was exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Now, the book sometimes states that, Paul, let's look at it what Mashiach said, John 16. I'm trying to put all this stuff together, and I ain't trying to be all night. John 16:22, I believe. It's John 16:20. She got the nice white people pie for you. That's Mrs. Smith's. Hey, Sire.
You know she wild. She might be blue.
She a lot of things, but black ain't one of them. Not with her pie looking like that.
Well, what you want me to stick it in, put it back in there and make it
No,
dark?
that ain't got nothing to do with the dark. That just look like white people pie. Maybe, maybe not.
Right. He is. And he is.
I'm not a pie kind of guy. I like ice cream. What's that? He lost his life about that pie too. John 16:20. Truly, truly, I say unto you, that you shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice, and you shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. A woman, when she is travailed, has sorrow, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she will remember no more the anguish for the joy that a man is born into the world. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Did y'all feel a little bit of anguish and sorrow when y'all went through your childbirth? You felt some anguish and sorrow? A lot? You said more than a little? What about you, Alicia? You felt a little anguish and sorrow? You felt a little anguish and sorrow when you gave birth? What about you, D? Sailor? Yes, you're right about that. Lil Muffin? Lil Muffin say, heck yeah. Lil Muffin say, heck yeah. Boy, if she didn't sound like a little white child, heck yeah. Yeah, it hurt. Heck yeah. But when you look at this here, right, Hamashiach in the beginning of his childbirth is going through what? Anguish and sorrow. Now he's stating this here, right? Now, as a woman is going through this childbirth, because we have to show this here to show about the level of faith as far as looking at the fruits of the Ruach in this fashion. Because remember, I mentioned to you this earlier today. I think it's in Psalms 127. It tells you that children are the what? The fruit of the womb. You know what I'm saying? That's the fruit of the womb. So if that's the fruit of the womb, and you know that Yahushua got hit in his side, and there's going to be men children or sons of God born from him, and this is why he's willing to go and have this birth. So let's look at the level of gentleness and faith that he exhibited, manifesting, because he's male and female at the same time, because I told y'all this. This man had to be male and female at the same time, the same way as Adam, but he also had to take on some female characteristics, not characteristics, but female experiences to be able to be an aid, a help, and a relief to a woman. You can't be an aid and a help and relief to a woman if you don't experience what she's been through. And what's the one experience that a woman can go through that a man can never go through? And that's childbirth. You know what I'm saying? Anything else a woman can go through, a man can go through too, but he can never relate to her in childbirth.
Except menstrual cramp.
I mean, menstrual would go along with childbirth because you got to shed your uterine lining to be able to have a child. Breastfeed. Yeah, ain't no man. But at the same token, though, the book does use examples of men, because actually Moses said that. Am I going to be able to carry these children in my bosom? Like, these your children. Why I got them? They ain't mine. They getting on my nerves. I want to kill them. You black, you know if you were Moses, you want to kill you too. Shoot, niggas drive niggas crazy. Come on over here to Luke 24. Luke 23, actually. Hey. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, sir. King, don't even do it. Don't even think about it. Just sit on down. Leah, you know better. You know better. Don't you? You know better, don't you?
Now here you go.
Don't you? So let's look at an aspect. We talked about the gentleness and the forgiveness earlier today afternoon. When he was on the tree, what did he say? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But let's look at verse 44. Who is this? It's Abigail. And it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And when Yahushua cried with a loud voice, Abba, into thy hands I commend my Ruach. And he had said thus, he gave up the Ruach. Now let me ask y'all this question. Does this correlate with what Esther said? That she gonna do this, and if she perish, she perish?
Yeah.
How does it? How do they compare?
You talking about what you just said about
I know.
No, what he said here about Abba, into your hands I commend my spirit.
I'm acting in faith. I'm giving everything to you.
Indeed. And this is how they go together. But also, if you give faith to somebody like that, that's a symbol of deference. Because I'm deferring myself to you, which is submission. I'm in complete and utter submission to my head, which is Elohim. See, when you look at Esther, Esther was not in submission to Mordecai. She was in submission to Yah. But she was still in submission to Mordecai because even though she was married to the king, this her uncle who raised her. So she deferred and served him in the regards to her Elohim. She didn't feel the need that I'm the queen. I'm gonna do it how I want to do it. She heard what her uncle said. Boom. She wasn't bucking. She said, Uncle, man, I ain't been in here. He got to do this here. He said, man, look here, man. If you don't do it, this what's going to happen. Maybe you were put here for this particular time. And she said, you know what? Tell the people to fast. And I'm going to go do it. And if I die, I die. Now, when you look at telling the people to fast, this also is showing the law of kindness being in her mouth. Because she's speaking to the people in regards to be able to get them to humble themselves so y'all can have mercy on them. Do y'all remember the word for kindness? Because it's the same word for mercy. I should say, do you remember the word for mercy? It's the word kased. You know what I'm saying? And when you see this here, right, and you got to think it's what? The Kot and the Samak and the Dalet, if my memory serves me correctly. But my memory may not serve me correctly. So, when you already see with mercy coming in, you're going to have that separation or that fence. If you got that Dalet, you see you got the door or you got something that's hanged. When you look at it, right, and for most of the time with Dalet, we more than likely might want to look at hanged because him being hanged is a symbol of the mercy. Now, when you look at it, right, men are merciful, but in general, women are considered to be more merciful than men are. You know what I'm saying? Because of their nurturing aspect. You know what I'm saying? When you look at it and you see Hamashiach on that state, you see the law of kindness in his mouth when he states that, Father, forgive him. Which is going back to what? That loving, that long suffering, which is a fruit of the Ruach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it can be masculine or feminine, but you know, when you talk about giving childbirth, it's also considered by nature that women suffer more as far as dealing with a man than a man may suffer. Though men suffer in a different fashion with dealing with other men. You know what I'm saying? Because dealing with other men is an adventure all in of itself, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? But let's come back over here to Esther chapter 4. Abigail, what may I do for you? Come here, Abigail. You could sit right here. And you could just be an Abby. We in Esther chapter 5, actually, 5 and 1. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house over against the king's house. And the king sat upon the royal throne of the royal house over against the gate of the house. And it was so when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, she obtained favor in his sight. The king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Then the king said unto her, what will you, Queen Esther, what is your request? It shall be given you to half of the kingdom. Now, this is also another prime example of her not only going in there and obtaining favor, but clearly there's something about her that made him want to do that, which we know it was a Yahuwah. And did you hear what he said he was going to give this woman? Half his kingdom. Now, I guarantee you, if she'd have came in there acting all masculine and boisterous and running her mouth, she would have died where she stood. For real, and that goes into what y'all were talking about before. When y'all acted masculine, you like, it got something done. But see, that can only work on a feminine man, because if you're dealing with a masculine man, you would have needed to be feminine, and you would have got twice as much done in half the time. You know what I'm saying? In half the time. Because a masculine man wants a feminine woman, and he doesn't have a problem deferring to her and giving her what she asked for. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal. And if he's not able to accomplish what she asked for, then he'll let that be known. See, dudes did not really realize how precious femininity was till you found out how rare it was. Then when you see how, that's why dudes be tripping the way they be tripping if they feel like they got a feminine woman and she finna slide. Because they be like, shoot, I have no idea if I'm gonna ever find that again in life. Because these hoes is masculine. You know what I'm saying? They want to beat you up. They want to tell you what to do. They want to talk to you any kind of way. They even feel like I do this and I do that, and you supposed to take it because I'm a strong woman. They be like, they say, you right, I'm going to take it. Take myself right out the door. Because I ain't finna put up, I don't care how fine you is. Huh?
I know that's right.
Some don't, because you got to look how rare it is. Niggas ain't never seen it. Put it this way, right? Shoot, a masculine man is rare. And if the book say a virtuous woman is his rubies, and he said that they were rare then how much rare are they now? Do you know what I'm saying? What's up, man? You chilling? You good? Your fro fresh? They combed it for you? No, the little ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, really sit there and think about that, though. Like, feminine, like the thing you mentioned, because I was going to mention that there. It says, this is how you can be able to know how feminine you are. Do you enjoy war and chaos or peace and quiet? Because a masculine woman like chaos and drama. I've actually heard a few women say that they like to have turmoil and trouble in a relationship and make it keep it exciting. And I'm like, are you serious?
I mean, that's what sounds like childhood trauma. Sounds like they grew up with that type of issue.
It got to be something. I heard several of them say it like, yeah,
I feel like they
that's weird.
like that, and they just got to do the same thing.
Like, that's not normal. Yeah, that's not, no, I agree. That's not normal.
But you don't see them Chinese women or the Japanese women.
How would you know? Do you live with it?
My friend, like, it's like,
You know the reason why I say that? Because people always say that other nations' women are feminine. Nigga, them hoes might be just as crazy.
Them Chinese women and the Japanese women, they all feminine.
How you know that?
They don't act like it.
How do you know that?
Chinese partners. You know, they tell you, our women don't act like American.
Yeah, I know. Get what? I knew an Asian woman. I mean, I knew an Asian woman, and she was masculine as the day is long.
But I would say Asia, not American.
I mean, like,
She was not. She lived here, but she was not Americanized. No, she can't. No, listen to me.
Asian woman, she's Americanized.
No, she was not Americanized. That nigga is Cambodian to the core.
I'm talking about Chinese and Japanese.
Nigga, Asian is Asian, nigga. But what you mean, nigga? You got Chinese and Japanese prostitutes. We don't really know how feminine Asian women are because we don't have interaction with them on a daily basis.
I'm about to say
They all feminine. The ones that aren't as Americanized. I mean,
Indian women are feminine too.
Yeah, I can get them that.
I'm gonna say them, but it's here. But I'm not gonna go by these people are so extra feminine because we don't have dealings with them on a regular basis. Now he did.
They're not Americanized. Yeah.
I'm not saying that the women ain't feminine, but to sit back and think that it ain't some masculine hoes amongst them people is foolish.
Masculine women is in America because it's.
Have you been? Have you been? Have you been?
I don't been over water.
Nigga, you ain't been but to Jamaica, nigga. That nigga ain't been nowhere but to Jamaica.
What?
That nigga ain't been.
I don't been over water. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. I don't been over water.
And guess what? Calm down. Everybody calm. Hey, Ma, it's not that serious. 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 But it's masculine women of every race of people all across the world. And if you think that, you lying to yourself. They are correct. Listen. See, you know the reason. Oh, everybody calm down. Hey, calm down. I can't. Let me tell you something, man. It's real talk, bro. The one of the things that I hate the most is that niggas love to say that all women ain't feminine and big up these other women, and you don't have no dealings with these people. You don't have no dealings with white women to say how feminine or masculine they are. You don't have dealings with Asian women on a consistent basis to make that claim to say that they're more feminine than your own.
Because this country is a matriarch.
Man, again, bruh. That's not true. Any Anglo-Saxon construct is a matriarchy. Any Anglo-Saxon construct is a matriarchy. Any Anglo-Saxon construct is a matriarchy. So there's only two places in the world that are not an Anglo-Saxon construct.
Saudi Arabia.
Africa.
But even still, they still got what you mean. Africa was colonized by Anglo-Saxon and it's still owned to them by this day.
Yeah, but I talk to them. It's certain things that the women can't.
And guess what? And there's masculine women over there in Africa. I just watched a video of African women saying that all they gotta do is give up the coochie and they ain't gotta do nothing else. They ain't gotta cook, they ain't gotta clean. If you think ain't no whorish women in the world, you a fool. A masculine woman is a whore. There's whorish women everywhere. Come on, man. Don't be simple. Don't be simple. You being simple. Bro, you said you've been over water and you only been in Jamaica. You never been to Europe. You never been to China. You never been to India. You never been to the Middle East. You never been to Europe to make that claim. Guess what? But don't make no bold claim like you've been across the whole world to be able to make this statement.
But I have been over water without, you know what I'm saying?
Put some respect on his name. Don't try to minimize what he did, man.
Have you been to Jamaica?
Alright then, alright. I wouldn't care. And guess what? Jamaican women ain't that feminine because it's a masculine Jamaican woman. Very masculine.
Women down there, they put their women in check.
What you mean? The women came over here and they masculine.
Yeah, they came over here. They don't act like they down there.
I know. I was with a masculine
I
Jamaican.
don't been in there now. I don't been down there.
Masculine women. Masculine
There ain't no
women.
laws for putting your hands on a woman down there. It ain't no laws for that. They keep the brace off.
So you make that. Get up. Just go. Just depart. Depart.
No, I'm not saying it. I'm saying
That's not checking a woman either. If you gotta put your hands on a woman to check a nigga, that means she masculine. Cause you ain't man enough to get her to be feminine to submit to you. That means that's a masculine woman. But I'm saying, if you saying that's what they doing to put him in check, that means she's a masculine woman. No feminine woman would ever get to the point where a nigga would have to beat her.
Women are scared. That's why they get a
That's not scared. That's a masculine woman. She wants an American man because he's feminine. She can run him.
Come on.
Ain't no masculine man for them. If you gotta put your hands on a woman, you need to dip.
Come on.
Yeah, because you have to. Yeah, that ain't no.
No masculine man gotta do all that. A true pimp ain't gotta put his hands on no hoe. He can use his mouth to get her to do what he wanted to do. So if you gotta put your hands on a woman, that woman masculine, because you ain't got enough game and enough masculinity in it to use your tongue and your brain to get her to do what she's supposed to do. So that means your point is he rejected, and we gonna move on. Touch your mind.
They're gonna be
most watched right here, boy.
Hey, let me tell you something, man.
Everybody like a little drama.
Hey, that's what he was saying women like. They like drama.
That's right.
2 people said that on here, right? I gotta listen up. Am I lying? Am I lying? I ain't lying. But no, real talk though. Real talk though. A feminine woman, when a feminine woman is in the presence of masculinity, her natural femininity will cause her to submit. She won't have no problem with it. Her nature will not allow her not to do it. If a woman is not submitting to you, it's because you're not masculine. Period. That's the first thing these niggas want to scream. The black woman won't submit. Nigga, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Because it's either you or she masculine, and you too stupid to realize you got a masculine woman. No, and that's what's wrong with these niggas. The book said you supposed to submit to me because I'm your husband. Nigga, you don't get submission because you got a penis, nigga. That's real though. That's what's wrong with 99.9% of the men walking this earth. You feel like a woman's supposed to submit to you because you a man. You know what I'm saying? She should submit to you because you a man. Not because you got an XY chromosome. Because you a man. That means you know how to lead, you got vision, you don't need no validation, you got a purpose, you're strong, you're confident, you're caring, you're thoughtful, you're self-sacrificing. Yeah, then she'll follow you. She know where she going. You want to tell this girl, I got a blindfold on, baby, just follow me. I can't see. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm taking us. But just follow me, baby. We gonna wing it. Ain't no real women going along with that crap. Straight up and down. And you foolish if you're a woman to go for some crap like that. Huh? What? Oh. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being serious though. And we might have to pick some of this up next week because I ain't what time it is? It's 11 o'clock. Because I ain't gonna finish it tonight. Because I gotta exercise. I gotta exercise for everybody. Let me get a little bit more because I gotta exercise for everybody this evening. And if you don't want to participate, you can gladly depart.
Get my 2 cookies.
I don't even think he know. Because my voice finna go in a minute. It was hoarse before we got here. Yeah, it is. It is. That nigga was down out at the library.
Oh yeah, boy, that joint was fun.
Hey, we're down out at the library. Oh, Lizzie, it's gonna be ugly for you. I can't even say it. Verse 4. And Esther answered and seemed good unto the king. Let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Then the king calls Haman that he make haste, that he may do as Esther said. So the king Haman came to the banquet prepared, and the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is your petition? And it shall be granted unto you. What is your request? Even half of the kingdom it shall be performed. Then answered Esther and said, my petition, my request is, if I found favor in the sight of the king, and if it pleased the king to grant my petition, to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king have said. Number one, you see again her deference. Do you see how she's talking to this man? Look at what she says when she talks to this man. If I found favor in your sight, if it pleases you to perform what I'm asking you. You know what I'm saying? Even in her requesting something from him, she's still giving him respect. You know what I'm saying? This is what, now of course I'm not saying you got to go to the extent that she's going to, but if you show a man respect while you're asking him to do something, he is more inclined to do it versus if you're demanding it. Because the minute, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, when the minute a woman start getting masculine or aggressive like that, the first thing a nigga go to think about is you not my mama. You know what I'm saying? Because a man don't want to look at his spouse as if she's trying to operate like she's his mother. Because that's going to take him to a space and then he gonna feel like he your son, and then that's emasculating, and he gonna buck. He gonna buck, he not gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot, because femininity, for lack of a better word, is finesse, it's skill, it's a tactic. It's a tactic and skill that men don't have, and they ain't supposed to have it. You know what I'm saying? They're not supposed to have it. That's the power that balances out the two genders. He's the one leading by strength, logic, agility, and dexterity, and she has the wisdom and the grace and the femininity and the finesse to aid and help him in his endeavors. See, these women out here that made you believe that ain't no power in femininity. It's power in being soft and gentle and humble and quiet. Not quiet as in the fact that you don't speak, but that you choose when you speak. So that when you speak, your words hold more weight. There's a reason why dudes be like, man, I really wish this woman to be quiet and shut up. And it ain't even got nothing to do about she just talking just for the sake of being talking. Because they looking at it that you talking to me, but what you saying, you just talking about absolutely nothing. But if you would sit back and look at when you choose to speak and choose the words that which you say, they'll have so much weight that you can get this man to do anything you want him to do. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, because this is what I done see. Because I know y'all with y'all girls, y'all talk a lot. Most dudes, they sit around, niggas don't talk to each other like that. Niggas sit back, be chilling, say a couple words, niggas be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Mainly because men like that quiet. You know what I'm saying? But if your woman is wise and she's kind and she's gentle and she picks the right time to speak, because guess what? You think Esther was talking Xerxes' head off? No, but when she spoke, he chose, so listen. All she did was walk up and he said, girl, I'll give you half the kingdom, man. Then tell me what you want. You get anything you want. You don't realize that because you ain't been told that or showed that. Just like y'all said, it got it done when I got aggressive with him and you thought you accomplished something. When really you lowered yourself and brought your value down. You know what I'm saying? That didn't increase your value. It's just like you buy a brand new car and drive it off the lot. You didn't went down about $4,000. Same token, that man value went down as soon as he did what you told him to do, and you had to do all that yelling and cut. Like you said, got it done. I was horse, so I had to do all that yelling. Like you have to look at it as, why would you need to yell at a man to get him to do something? That lets you know you're dealing with the wrong man. If you had to raise your voice to get that man to do something, you're dealing with the wrong man. You shouldn't have to do that as a woman. Ever. Shouldn't take all that. Let's drop down a little bit. We're going to drop down about verse chapter 6. Yes, Abigail. We're going to actually chapter 7. Because we ain't got time to read through all that. It's just dealing with some other things and things of that nature. We'll continue this on a little bit because we had about an hour and a half. Esther 7:1. So the king Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen. The king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is your petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted unto thee. What is your request? And it shall be performed, even half of the kingdom. Remember, she said that she got wisdom in her mouth, right? That's what we read in Proverbs 31. Also looking at Yahushua showing wisdom when he told that thief, this day you'll be with me in paradise. Was another example of that. Because like this here, right, men can be wise and things of that nature, but women have a lot of wisdom when they gain knowledge and understanding and it's applied. See, like I say, we live in a culture where women are constantly minimized. You know what I'm saying? But that's not how that rolls. Now, as far as what he referring to, like I said, like when you look at it, talking about screaming what a matriarchy is, that's when they say that women rule. But in reality, America is not a matriarchy because white men rule. They just really allow their women to do certain things and they don't really care. Because white women ain't running no white man.
So what about this whole feminist movement?
The feminist movement ain't a matriarchy. Would you consider that America is a matriarchy when it says the founding fathers? There wasn't a woman in sight. These dudes are latent homosexuals. And always has been. They got whole male clubs with no women. You call them Masons and Shriners. There's no women in sight. The majority of people that run the United States government, are they men or women? How many presidents of the United States were women? It ain't been that many female governors in the United States of America. See, what it is that white men do in their relationships is that white woman run her mouth, but matter of fact, truth be told, most white women are stay-at-home moms.
I'm here some 90% of family court cases are won by.
Man, you steady talking about family court cases. We ain't talking about no family court, my nigga. That doesn't make a society a matriarchy because of family court. Like, who told you that and why did you believe it?
It's an actual fact.
But does that make the United States a matriarchy because family court is geared to a woman?
I mean, the states.
Does it make it a matriarchy? But does it make it a matriarchy because family court, one subsection of an entire culture, does it make that culture a matriarchy?
Sure, because it takes a man 8 to 10 years to recover from family.
Okay, but listen to what I said. Does it make the culture as a whole a matriarchy because of family court?
I mean, you can say no.
All right then, conversation is concluded. So when you look at this here, right, and I'm not saying that all, but you know, it's a lot of white women that are stay-at-home moms. What do most white men do? Who controls most of the major corporations in America? White men.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now the only difference is what you talking about is that white woman would divorce this white man and rape him blind. But who runs things in America? It ain't a woman. Ain't no woman running nothing nowhere in the world except in England. And we are not confirmed that that's a woman yet. Oh, she run more than you think. You know, she ain't no figurehead. They might tell you that on the news. That woman ain't no figurehead. She got way more stroking power than you think. Because every country that they control, they still bow down and give her reverence. And she still has legal authority to buck anything them people pass. Absolutely. She got a lot more power than you think. She ain't no figurehead. That's just what they put on the TV. She got a lot more power and authority than we think. She the only woman in the world who got some power. What? She was ugly when she was young. She was ugly when she was middle-aged, and she's ugly as sin now. Oh yeah, she definitely got power. Oh, she's one ugly woman, ghastly looking woman. Ghastly. But to be nice, we're going to say she's a handsome woman. See, when you hear somebody say that's a handsome woman, Callie, they call her ugly. You know that about that?
Oh, no, I know somebody handsome one.
Yeah, you call a woman, you look at a woman, you be like, that's a handsome woman. She's surely ugly. But screw Queen Elizabeth, she ain't about nothing. Lizzie, stop. Stop. Because when you hit your head, you're going to be crying and you're going to want somebody to hold you. Verse 3. It's verse 4. It's verse 4 that we on, right? I'll read verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I found favor in your sight, O king, and it pleased the king, let my life be given at my petition and at my people my request. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed and to be slain and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. King Xerxes answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he and where is he? Durst presume in his heart to do so. Esther said, the adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. Y'all know what happened to Haman, right? How did he die? He got what? They hung him. But you see how simple, just the simple ability of faith and femininity got this man killed who was plotting on killing her people. We didn't read the part where they were fasting, how Esther gathered all the people together to fast. But look at the level of wisdom, how she extended that situation out for 2 days.
until she stepped to the king to get the king to do what she wanted to do, which was to save her people. You know what I'm saying? Like, femininity is a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to be soft and gentle. No man don't want woman he got to fight and argue with. Just like no woman don't want no man she got to tell what to do. If y'all have to tell a man what to do, how do you feel about that man when you feel like you have to tell him everything he needs to do? How do you feel? How would that make you feel? Would you feel like you had a man, or would you feel like you had a grown child? You know what I'm saying? That you have to tell him, you know you need to do this, and you know you shouldn't. A woman should never have to tell a man what he needs to do. Sometimes you need to tell him to tighten up, but you shouldn't have to tell him what he needs to do. If you have to tell him what he needs to do, you're not dealing with a man. A man already know what he needs to do. You don't need nobody to tell him. And that's the difference. That's why we missing out. We missing out a lot of things when it comes forward to the word and salvation, because we're not operating in the places that we're supposed to operate. But let me grab this Psalms 48 for Akish, man, because I mentioned it earlier and I didn't get it for him. Come over here to Psalm 48 and 1. And then we're going to slide on out. And we'll continue Esther along. Oh, that's right. We got tomorrow, so I can keep it going till tomorrow. Great is Yahuwah and greatly to be praised in the city of our Elohim and the mountain of his Kadash. Beautiful in situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king. Where did he just tell you the sides of the north was at? Where he just said in Psalms 48 the sides of the north is at? In the city of the great king. Let's look at what Hamashiach said the city of the great king is in Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5, verse 33. Again, you've heard that it's been said by them of old time, you shall not forswear yourself, but you shall perform unto Yahuwah your oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by Shamahim, for it is Elohim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is the footstool, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. So if Jerusalem is the city of the great king and the sides of the north, where is the sides of the north then? It's in Jerusalem. Who knows what the size of the north is? Just simply go get you Ezekiel 48 and 31, and you will see that that's the north gate, and that north gate belongs to one particular tribe, and that tribe is Judah. So when he telling you that I'll sit in the mount of the congregation in the size of the north, that means that's telling you how Mashiach say I'll sit on my throne, but I got to go through the north gate. And I got to go through the north gate in Jerusalem. Is there any time that Satan ever said that's what he wanted to do? No, it is not. So hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. Most High willing, we'll pick this up again on the morrow, probably about 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I bless y'all out the house of y'all, name of Yahushua. We're going to slide on out of here.